Welcome to the Synergy Sessions, Aging Smarter in Silicon Valley. I'm your host, Tom Nelson, and I know firsthand as a family caregiver and part of the sandwich generation how tough it can be to take care of your aging parents while balancing your own life, career, and family. We'll bring you the experts and information necessary to help make your life a little bit easier and you a little bit smarter. Synergy Sessions is brought to you by Synergy Home Care, bringing you personalized in-home care and peace of mind to Silicon Valley families. I really do hope you enjoy the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Synergy Sessions, Aging Smarter in Silicon Valley. I'm Tom Nelson, and we're brought to you by Synergy Home Care. Today, I'm very excited. We have Tina Wong-Erling. She's the Senior Services Supervisor for the City of Campbell, specializing in gerontology. She's worked in the senior housing, case management, and recreation areas, and she's a dedicated advocate. Tina is committed to helping seniors, families, and caregivers connect with resources that promote independence and enhance quality of life. Well, that's a mouthful, and that's a lot. So welcome, Tina. Thank you so much for being on Synergy Sessions.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Tom. I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you for that nice introduction.
Okay. Excellent. So we know each other, and I know all the great things you do. But can you let everybody know what do you do in your role, and in general, what does the senior services, this 50 plus department, do for the residents of Campbell and beyond?
Yeah, well, thank you so much again for having me and allowing me the opportunity to share the wonderful programs at the Campbell Adult Center. So in my role as the Senior Services Supervisor, I'm responsible for the overall administration and oversight of the Campbell Adult Center, which offers a variety of different activities and programs for those that are 50 plus and their family caregivers. Our main goal really is to keep older adults active and engaged in the community, hopefully alleviating isolation and loneliness. Other goals are to promote social connection, good quality health, and overall well-being.
Yeah, thank you for that. You just brought up isolation. So with the seniors, I've been a family caregiver for a very long time. I was so excited for my dad. We were going to start, bring him over and start working with some of your programs, and COVID hit. And, so many different things shut down. And now, we're back open. You're able to start serving the community again. Can you tell me, what are the kind of the components? Because that was the overview. What are the components of the program in your department?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. Again, we have such a wide array of services because we really serve 50 plus all the way to some of our participants are in their upper 90s. So we're serving roughly 3 generations of seniors. So with that, we really have to offer a variety. So I'll begin with the classes. That's probably our hugest, largest
Right.
component. We offer 3 types of classes: fitness, art, and dance. So within fitness, we offer all levels, starting from chair exercises to Tai Chi, to aqua aerobics is quite popular. And then going up to kind of the high impact classes would be our strength training, which is a circuit in our weight room, all the way to Zumba, a Gold, which is designed for older adults. So there really are a lot of fitness opportunities for those that want to stay not only fit physically, but also mentally, because we all know how much our physical health affects our mental health. Then probably the second largest component of our program are our day trips, where we have staff that plan these day excursions for our participants to explore the Bay Area. These are typically themed trips that will go to maybe the theater in San Francisco. We're going to the Oakland Zoo next week. Upcoming fall trips include the Blue Angels during Fleet Week and whale watching also in the fall. This is just a wonderful, convenient way to travel. We plan everything, so our participants really just get on a comfortable motor coach bus, and everything's planned out. And most of all, they're meeting new friends, they're traveling with others, and just enjoying a wonderful day with their community. So that's the day trips. Then we have a variety of groups, and I call these our kind of our drop-in activities: card groups, book club, knitting, flower arranging. So these are not formally instructed. They're more volunteer led, and
Mhm.
participants can drop in once a week, twice a month, kind of when they're available to drop in, and depending on how frequent the group meets. Then we have a lunch program. We're one of 40 sites throughout the county, partnership with the county. We serve lunch Monday through Friday. This is a very robust program that continued during the pandemic. I mean, we did awesome things. We served lunch through a walk-up program. We served lunch to homebound seniors during the pandemic, and it's thriving. So that's available. And then I also want to give a shout out to our services. A lot of people think of recreation primarily for our recreational activities, but we have
Mhm.
a lot of services that benefit older adults and their families, such as
Mhm.
case management. We have legal aid appointments, health insurance counseling, and even technology tutoring for
Yeah.
those that need a little help with their device. We have a partnership with couple of local high schools where we match teens that will help an older adult navigate their device and learn how to
Wow.
utilize it. It's just a wonderful win-win situation there.
Yeah.
And I would be remiss in not mentioning that we are an informational hub. Above all, we get questions, calls almost on the daily. People
Mhm.
just asking for general information. How do I
Yeah.
find this? How do I find this service? How do I find a volunteer to help me? And anything, if we don't have the answer, what we'll do is we'll do our best to try to find them the answer and to help them in any way that we can.
Right. That's fantastic. Yeah, there's nothing worse than we don't do that because we try to do that with I mean, as you can imagine, we're a home care agency, but home care, that term is very perceived many different ways. Everything from plumbing
Yes.
to, like
Yep.
a home maintenance to all types of different things, and to have kind of that list of other resources to help get them to the right place. One of the things that struck me is, we were talking about 50 plus and all the different variety of amazing programs that you have. I never consider myself in that range, even though I'm 58 years old now. You're working with people who are very active adults that are in these programs, and then you have people who are, further along, doing more of the chair exercise programs and things like that.
Yeah.
Who are your typical, clients or constituents, or the people that are in your programs? Who are the typical people that come to you for services?
So the short answer is probably all of the above, what you just
Mhm.
mentioned. But
Yeah.
I'd say the average age is probably someone in their 70s that's
Mhm.
retired,
Yeah.
that's maybe been referred to us through word of mouth. Maybe a friend takes a class or a neighbor is in some sort of group or comes for lunch.
Yeah.
And because they're retired and they have the leisure time to come and attend and participate in our activities, but we're also seeing a lot of working younger, older adults who are
Mhm.
coming in just for a class, and
Mhm.
that's okay too because
Yeah.
they're getting that benefit from their community center. And we
Yeah.
we welcome we welcome all types of seniors that are working, retired, those that need a little assistance that come to
Mhm.
us for services and information. And that's
Mhm.
really the beauty of a senior center. It's a lot
Yeah.
more than I think that we think of when we think of an adult center or senior
Yeah.
center. I think there's a kind of a typecast for what people do there, and in reality, it's evolved so much that we have all types of older adults attending our center.
Right. So one of the things, so what you mentioned, that's like the skewing a little bit older than the more towards the 70 plus than it is the 50 plus. We'll talk about a little bit about the younger ones in a minute. But so on the podcast, I've had some guests on because I try to make this about like for everybody and not just those with lots of resources, because certain services and things like that cost a lot of money and there's barriers. And so the two barriers I could think of is just cost and also transportation. Are there any accommodations for, I don't know if there's like a sliding scale, or you're just, I think from what I can tell, the cost of the programs are relatively low and, available for a lot of different people. But sometimes any cost is tricky. and also trying to get places by transportation. Are there do you help people with those two things?
Yeah, so that really is an important question. I truly mean that because we have all economic, socioeconomic backgrounds that we serve, and so our classes and trips are fee based.
Mhm.
But having said that, the city has a charter to provide older adult programs at a very low reduced cost. So I
Yeah,
can tell you that our a class that you would take for 50 plus is significantly lower than the cost of an 18 plus class.
right.
So that is already a benefit, and we do have a little bit of a variance with seniors who live in Campbell and who don't live in Campbell. I mean, it's ever so slight, but I'd say our costs are moderate. They're certainly affordable, given the kind of the standard of living nowadays. And in terms of transportation, if an older adult doesn't have a way to reach our center, we certainly will refer the person to our case manager to explore different avenues of coming to the senior center, whether it's rideshare or even volunteer
Yeah,
programs that will assist.
that's great. Because a lot of times people, nowadays people's families have moved out of the area, you
Yeah.
know, and a lot of times, they may not have somebody to help them, and there is that barrier. So it was great to learn about some of the programs. Some of the we had Adriana from Sourcewise on here that helps with different things, and so a lot of collaboration and synergy between the different groups. With the 50 plus, I'm imagining that a lot of those 50 plus are the adult children of seniors as well. And I had somebody on the podcast, Deborah Rothschild, about, she called them tough agers. That's like her exercise program. They're these people that aren't the frail elderly. They're not ready for the chair exercise program, but it's so critical that they are staying connected, fit, those things, so they can be the best caregiver for their family and also be able to keep themselves, the quality of their lives high. So, what do you do for family caregivers to support family caregivers so they have what they need to take care of their
I
parents?
am delighted that you asked that question because helping family caregivers is very close and dear to my heart as I've been a caregiver for a loved one. So at the Adult Center, we really do make it an integral part of our work to serve family caregivers because as our participants age in place, that term means maybe they joined the center 10 years ago and now they've been participating, having aged in place in our center for 10 years. Maybe perhaps at that point they are in need of additional help. So it is vital for us to help and support family caregivers to alleviate stress as well as help them maintain that resiliency to continue caring for their loved ones. So we do that in three different ways. First of all, we have a partnership. You mentioned SourceWise earlier. It's directly with them. They have a Caregivers Network program. So they provide these 1 hour caregiving consultations at our center that are scheduled once a month. And the individual gets to meet with a case manager from SourceWise to talk about their situation and to get some recommendations for options for care. And that's a free service. Then, secondly, we have a case manager on staff who can meet with clients and their family caregivers about a variety of different services: home care, transportation, home modifications, housing. So that's a tremendous benefit we have through the City of Campbell. And then, thirdly, I'd like to take this opportunity to share the upcoming Caregivers Count Conference, which is our 15th annual conference. And this conference is designed specifically to educate, empower, and support family caregivers. So this year we have 3 consecutive sessions starting on September 6th and September 13th and September 20th. Those are all Saturdays between the hours of 10 and 12. And the first 2 sessions are virtual, so individuals can ask sessions online. The first session the specific topic will be 7 questions that worry caregivers and the difficult decisions that they considered throughout their caregiving journey. The second session, we'll talk about how to tailor your care and support through transitions. And these by psychologists. The second speaker is a professional from the Alzheimer's Association. And then the last session we have on September 20th will be in person here at the Campbell Community Center. And the title will be on care transitions and technology. We have a guest speaker talking about providing some information about digital tools and practical low-tech solutions. And then we have another speaker talking about in-home and residential care options. Should a family caregiver be considering to be open to receiving care? And that's really the focus of this year's conference is helping family caregivers reach that decision to accept care, because that's something that is tremendously difficult because a lot of families feel like it's their responsibility. And while that's true, Tom, they can share in that responsibility and it becomes more manageable. And there really is a strong community of individuals that can help.
Yeah, I think that's so true. We were just talking yesterday with another guest about people wait too long, and by the time sometimes people request care, they've kind of already passed all the milestones on when care would have actually helped, and now they're already to the moving out of the house or a more drastic type of situation. Maybe there's the health issues have gotten farther along, so they're in a rehab situation or something. But this is a great way for people to jump online, check it out. And I think also previous conferences, are they still online from previous conferences to be able to? So I know we didn't talk about this before, so I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I have accessed it in the past because they do have wonderful topics on there.
That's an important part of this. So the website is caregiverscount.net, no space. And yes, indeed, we have previous sessions from prior years. Again, this is our 15th annual conference. So we have just a number of different good resources on the website, including the previous sessions, and also a list of varied resources for family caregivers. You could really contact any one of those resources and someone will be able to direct you should that not be the primary resource that you need.
Yeah.
So it's really just a great resource. And by the way, the conference is free to anyone. And it's, again, the 2 sessions are virtual. So even if you can't make it to the in-person on the 20th, you can certainly hopefully tune into the 2 virtual conference sessions.
Yeah, they've been wonderful. I've learned a lot. I mean, I'm in the profession and I always get some really great nuggets on there. You have fantastic speakers. Backing up just a little bit, so you have people of a variety of ages. What are the ways that people can contact you and learn about the services and also enroll? I mean, can somebody who's computer phobic, let's say somebody who's 80 plus, can they just call you up on the phone and register online? Or somebody who's the opposite end of the spectrum, can they register online for something? And how does that all work? What's the way people connect with you and get connected to your programs?
Yeah, so we're really set up to meet the needs of everything that you covered. I mean, from somebody that's tech savvy, used to shopping online, registering online, to those that prefer to do it in person, have that one-on-one contact. We do have a software system where we register for classes and trips. But, again, if that's something someone is uncomfortable with, they can certainly call us. So there's 3 ways. Registration can be done online, on the phone, or in person. And once that account is created with us, the registration process is really, really simple in any of the forms that I just mentioned. So, and in terms of our how you would find out about our offerings is we have our citywide activity guide online. That's at campbellca.gov, or we mail it to our Campbell residents. And upon request, we can also mail it to outside residents. So they don't have to live in Campbell in order to receive our information.
That's great. And, that's a perfect segue. I was going to follow up because you had mentioned earlier there's a slight cost differentiation, and I've seen it is pretty slight. Um, but people outside of Campbell, I want to drive this point home, is that people outside of Campbell can come and utilize your services. And and beyond that, let's say somebody is listening from another state or somewhere else. Is this so? A senior center, you mentioned, you offer all these wonderful programs in different dimensions. Are these types of programs typically offered in other communities or across the country? Because one thing that you mentioned, most people think of recreation, but to have somebody that helps them with kind of like case management around how do you find other resources around transportation, housing, or whatever the other legal, like you're talking about, the different things. Is that typical? Because I don't think people even think to call the senior center to find those types of resources to access those types of resources.
Yeah, again, another great question, because if you're not in the field, like you and I are, Tom, I think
Mhm.
sometimes, the jargon or or the titles, people don't quite understand it. I've had people outside the industry ask, is a senior center, is that where people live? And so that it
Right.
really is important for us to, I think, break that down for individuals and families. Yes, senior or adult centers do exist throughout the country, but they
Mhm.
really differ from one another. I
Right.
remember attending a conference and one presenter said, if you've seen one senior center, you have seen one senior center.
Right.
And and they are so right, because when I look at even the Bay Area, I mean, we're in Campbell, but if you look at Cupertino or Santa Clara, the senior centers vary in terms of facility. For
Yeah.
example, some senior centers you walk in and it's just that dedicated building. But,
Mhm.
if you look at Campbell, our programs, we're an old high school.
Yeah.
Therefore, we're spread out on this campus, and we have different activities and different wings, if you will, in different
Yeah.
buildings. So and fees even vary greatly, and the
Mhm.
overall atmosphere, I would say, even varies. And it,
Right.
it really is driven by the community in which you serve,
Right.
because you can only offer programs that the community are interested and can afford. So that's the reason why they vary greatly. But I would say that the overall, the core mission really of senior centers or adult centers still is to provide a welcoming place,
Mhm.
for older adults, to learn, to connect, and really be a part of the community.
Yeah. Well, I think that you've really captured that beautifully because every time I go over there, I do see it's the multi-generational, like you were talking about the tech program with the teenagers helping the
Yeah.
seniors, and then you have people swimming side by side, younger people and older. I mean, it is an amazing environment. And you mentioned it's a high school. I was supposed to go to that high school, but it closed the year I was supposed to go. So every time I come on, I always imagine what it would have been like if I actually went to school there. So fortunately, I get to go over there a lot for various reasons, and so I'm vicariously going to high school there through the programs. And I was a member of the fitness center there as well. So I think you've done a beautiful job with that. I mean, there's so much to cover, and it's right. I think the main point with the last question is reach out to your senior center adult programs just to see what's available because you'd probably be surprised what is available because most people don't think of that first off. And if they don't have it or do it or provide it, they probably have a referral for you somewhere to get you on the right track because there are some amazing resources, and especially nowadays, I think it's something like 11,000 people are turning 65 every day in the United States for like the next 20 years or so.
Yes.
So this is an area of service that is only going to grow and expand and provide more and more resources to the community because that's where the demand is, these days. So, and the future.
I recently saw a statistic that 1 in 5 individuals in the Bay Area, or Santa Clara County rather, uh, will be will be over the age of 60 in 2050. So most definitely, and we both know that the 85 plus is the fastest growing population. So There will be a need.
And the people who are their adult children in the sandwich generation, like I've been, they need support too to help. It takes a village. And as you mentioned earlier, people need to reach out for help. And some of the help might be professional, some of it might be family, friends, and some might be, in their community, the various resources in their community. Is there anything we didn't cover today, Tina, that's on your, you have such a vast array of things you provide, and I would imagine, people definitely recommend and encourage people to contact you for their unique, situation to see if you could help or peruse what program might be of interest to them. But in general, is there any other areas maybe you didn't cover that you'd like to make sure we talk about?
Yeah, there are a couple. So one
Okay.
is we offer a monthly newcomers orientation for those that are
Oh,
new to the area or they're new to the Campbell Adult Center. We have this dedicated time to spend with newcomers where we talk about the programs and how to get enrolled, and then we take them on a tour, a facility tour. That way they can see a few activities or classes in action. And that really seems to work for us because, instead of trying to tell them a long story over the counter, we'd rather,
uh-huh.
have a specific time where we can dedicate to all newcomers, and maybe they can
Uh-huh.
even meet a friend there.
Yeah.
And it's just a great way to learn about the new, to learn about our center and how to get involved.
Yeah,
So
that's fantastic.
yeah. And then a final note would be that to let everybody know that the Campbell Adult Center is part of the recreation department,
Mhm.
with the City of Campbell. However, the department serves all ages. I mean, we really
Mhm.
have a lot of wonderful programs. We operate a historical museum, the Ainsley
Mhm.
House. We offer shows and performances at the Heritage Theater, which is right on
Mhm.
campus at the Campbell
Yeah.
Community Center. There's so much that we offer. We have a wonderful track that a lot of people see just driving by, and
Mhm.
we have so many people walking, from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. It's just a welcoming environment. And I want to invite those that have not visited our center to come by and check us out and give us a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just there over the weekends for the Relay for Life, the
Yes.
cancer program, and uh, it was thriving. But if you came the weekend before, it seems like there's an event there all the time just for the people using. I mean, it is a thriving community center, and it was one of my very first jobs as a 17 or 18-year-old as a rec leader with day camp and everything. So, I mean, I've been a lifelong participant and employee with the community center, and it just seems like it's just gotten better and better and better, and bringing people like yourself, professionals that really care. One of the things that I make sure of everybody that comes on my podcast, we're in an industry that is sometimes not so easy, and you need to have a heart for this type of work. And I appreciate you and thank you for doing what you do. And thank you so much for being on the Synergy sessions today.
Well, I appreciate you, Tom, working with you and for the invitation to be on your podcast. And I appreciate the opportunity to share our programs with the community. And thank you again.
Excellent. Thanks. So, everybody, we will have all the different ways to contact Tina and her program in the show notes. And I, again, encourage everybody to reach out and check it out. It's a wonderful resource. All right. Well, thank you so much again. And thanks, everybody, for joining us on the Synergy Sessions. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us on the Synergy Sessions. We know you have a lot on your plate, so we really appreciate you spending the time with us today. If you found the information in this episode useful, please reach out to the guest or the resources in the show notes. I know they would appreciate it and would love to help. Also, if you have an idea for a future episode, please reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook or email us and let us know. We'd love to hear from you and provide information that's useful. Lastly, please remember, you don't have to do this alone.